In previous videos, we've covered how to install the QNAP hardware and drives. So for QNP103, we wanted to cover the software side of things. And in this tutorial, we'll be going over how to initialize your QNAP NAS. So to do this, we're going to cover how you find your QNAP NAS on your network using QFinder Pro. We're going to go over how you initialize the system with the initialization wizard. And we're also going to cover creating a storage pool and volume so you have somewhere to store data. Start by navigating in your browser to qnap.com/en-us/utilities/essential and download QFinder Pro. What QFinder Pro does is it scans your local area network for any QNAP devices that are connected to it, making it easy for you to select and access your device. QFinder Pro provides information regarding the NAS such as the IP address, the firmware, and the MAC address, among other things. And to get started, you're going to want to use QFinder Pro to scan your network and then select and open your NAS by double-clicking. When you access the NAS, you'll find yourself at the beginning of an installation wizard. And if you happen to be using drives that had previously been used in another QNAP NAS, it'll ask you whether you'd like to restore the settings from that NAS or if you'd like to reinitialize the drives and start new. So because I want to initialize the NAS for this tutorial, I'm going to click the Initialize System button. But keep in mind that when I do this, all of the data that had been previously stored on these drives will be wiped. So if you're using drives that have data that you don't want to lose, it's imperative that you have that data stored somewhere else because it will be lost from any drives you use in initializing your NAS. So once you're ready, click the installation button and now click the Start Smart Installation Guide. Here you will name the NAS and set the admin password. When you're naming the NAS, keep in mind that the name cannot contain any spaces or special characters. Once you've input the name and password, click Next. Now on the next page, set your time zone along with the date and time. If you like, you can set the time to be the same with your computer, or you can synchronize the time with an online time server. Make your selection and click Next. Now on this page, you can choose to obtain your IP address either as a dynamic IP address obtained from a DHCP server, such as your router perhaps, or you can obtain a static IP address, which you would input manually below. In the majority of use cases, you'll probably just want to go with obtaining the IP address automatically, which is what I'm going to select. Once you've made your selections, click Next. Now you'll be able to specify which operating systems and protocols you would like to enable for the file transfers with this NAS. I'll just leave it with the default Mac and Windows for now. You can always go back and adjust this in your settings after the NAS has been initialized. Make your selections and click Next. Here you'll get one final warning that all of the data on these drives will be cleared. So make sure that you're ready to clear any data on the drives that you're initializing and click Yes to proceed. The settings you chose will now be applied. This process may take several minutes. Now click Go to NAS Management and log into your NAS with the username admin and whichever password you set in the initialization wizard. Your first time logging in, a few tips will be pointed out, such as where to access the main menu and where the App Center is, among other things. Now that we have the operating system up and running with the most current firmware, there's one more thing I want to cover as an essential, fundamental component of setting up your NAS, and that is creating a storage space. Currently, I have no volumes created on this NAS, so if I try to do something like install an app or create a shared folder, I won't be able to because there's no volume to store the data on. To create a volume, go to the main menu and select Storage and Snapshots. A quick series of introduction windows will pop up to give you some information about the Storage and Snapshots app. Now navigate to the Storage/Snapshots and click the New Storage Pool button. This will open the Create Storage Pool wizard. On the intro page, you can implement QTier by checking the box if you like, which implements a hybrid storage solution of both SSD and HDD storage. But in my case, all of my drives are the same type, so there's no point in setting up separate storage tiers. So I'm just going to click Next. Now, choose which drives you would like to dedicate to this storage pool and what RAID you would like to configure them as. Make your selections and click Next. Now, on the Configure page, you may implement SSD over-provisioning. I'm just going to go with the default settings and continue. Make your selections and click Next to continue to the summary page. Review your settings and when ready, click Create. Now click OK. Once the storage pool is created, a window will pop up prompting you to create a volume. Click the New Volume button and now choose between thin, thick, or static volume. I'm just going to leave it as a thick volume. You can also choose which storage pool to store the volume on, but obviously we've only just created our first storage pool on this NAS, so I only have the one to choose. Once you've made your selections, click Next. Here you can name your volume and set the volume capacity. You can also set advanced settings like encryption here if you choose to. I'm just going to stick with the default settings and click Next. And now click Finish and your volume will be created. For more information on how to easily mount shared folders and transfer files, take a look at QNP110 for Windows and QNP111 for Mac. Be sure to check out the rest of our videos to better utilize your QNAP NAS.